Well, good evening. You're very welcome to the Masters Championship for round number 9 of Division 2 here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. My name is Graham and I'm going to do my best to bring the action to you tonight. And already some action has gone away as I believe Focky has picked up a 5 plays grid penalty for a collision with Jono. That is already something that's happened. I can just go to the race director and there you go. Confirmation of Focky's grid penalty already, so great start so far. I believe SH is the first man who's going to get us underway on a lap. Oh no, 4.8 is the very early benchmark. See a couple of the Alfa Romeos flying in. Combi in the other Ferrari reserving tonight for teams of Yarum. He pops in a 4.7 to take provisional pole. And lap times will be coming in thick and fast, but as they are, I'm going to read through the standings as they currently stand. So SH is leading the way on 102 points ahead of VRT Venom in second place on 71 points, and then Dan Morris back this week in the McLaren as he comes across to set a start his lap. He is in third place on 63 points, and then you have I believe Team Chief Wesker is next in 60 points in fourth there. So, and then in the constructors you have Torosso on 109 points ahead of Ferrari and McLaren, who are Red Bull, who are tied on 103 points apiece, and then you have 85 points for Williams, and then McLaren on 83. That's how things stand. Brett here has had a few trips already into this part of the track. He does come over to set a 4.746, and that means he is well in second place for the time being, as Team Zlatan has left the session. A messy start. We'll go aboard Dan Morris, the returning McLaren driver. A couple of other things to make note of. Shawnee Boy in the Mercedes joins Kieran Trapp, reserving in the Haas tonight, as Dan pops in a 4.8, just goes ahead of his teammate who's 4.9 momentarily. See where the homeboy Team Chief Wesker is. He's on outlap at the moment on softs. Most of the field on softs. A couple guys set times on mediums. VRT Venom is a 5.2 on mediums. That's quite a lap time, but I'm afraid I'm not sure that's going to really count for much, because you'd imagine outside the top 10 there's plenty of people still to set times. There's a Renault on the back of a Haas there, which is Brett. You'd imagine that won't be good enough to stay inside the top 10, which is why kind of like a Merc situation in Canada where he sets a great lap time on mediums, but it won't count for a lot because he won't be able to start in the on those tyres. So we'll see what he can do on softs. It probably will be pole position, but look, we'll wait and see what happens. We're going on board with Kieran Trapp in the Haas. Nice chrome helmet, glistening in the sun as he takes the last two turns, opens the DRS and sets a time of a 6.1 invalid. So I thought he may have run a bit too much over that last curb, and sure enough, invalidation. But we can go on board with TMT Wesker in the Williams at his home Grand Prix. As he dips towards turns 6 and through 7 and 8. Then how's his doesn't go down to 4th, stays in 5th. Sometimes you get a little extra purchase if you stick it in 4th. How is these last two corners, and how do they shape up to be? See, drift wide, nice and controlled. Last corner, don't want to hit too much of that sausage yellow curb. That's a very clean lap from TMC Wesker, and he does go provisional pole. A 4.702 for Wesker. It was a very clean looking lap indeed, and well, that set the bar. Then the rest going to try and derail Wesker's day in the sun. He's on provisional pole. We have SH just begin the lap, and look at that. That could have worked out perfectly had Combi come out a second or two later. SH could have picked up the slipstream, but as it stands, he has to rely on his own power and the DRS. Misses the apex slightly of turn 3, but a nice clean exit though. Possibly a medium traction, but let's have a little look as we get further down this hill towards turn 4. Nice and easy on the power. Just looked like a very clean turn 3 then in that case. Drift wide, you cut back in for turn 6. How wide does he go then for this? Doesn't go down to 4th. But not a bad lap so far from SH. See what he can do, and he's actually pulling into the pits. So it looked like a decent enough lap, but he's decided to come in as Mark Demand lifts himself up to 8th place with a 5 flat. Put himself behind the racing point of Timo. Well, here comes VRT Venom now, on the set soft as everyone else is now. Apart from our team Master, who's on Seth Hard, so as it opens DRSs, looks like a good lap. Is it enough for pole position? It is. Provisional pole as Combi is disqualified for blocking the pit lane. There he is. So he was in 3rd and now is going to be starting from the very back of the grid as Venom takes provisional pole by a convincing 3/10 here, as Bresh is just beginning his lap houses turn 1. You want to take as much of that apex as you possibly can. Not a bad turn 1 regardless from Bresh, but still see what he can improve on, and he's down by 1500ths. Or 1600s, I rounded for good figures. Open to DRS in the Renault. Of course, many people running tributes tonight using number 19 as Merck then 4.1 for TMZ Merck, who was one of the drivers running a black helmet. And he's running the number 19 as well, hard to see, but a number of drivers are running black or pink helmets. And number 19 in memory of Antoine Hubert. Brett then, final 2 corners. Ooh, back end getting away from him. Comes across the line. It's good enough for 3rd place, a 4.4. It's just marginally off of Venom. Had he had a bit of a cleaner last corner or so, I think he could have been on the front row. But as it stands, a solid P3 for the time being. Here's Team C Weiberg. Both Toro Rossos looking to be a little bit further up than they currently are. See how Weiberg's entrance is like into these last 2 corners. Of course, very easy to drift wide and invalidate the whole thing. You'll see lots of penalties that way in the race as well as this last corner. Opens the DRS, it's like a good lap to be fair. It's 4.9. I thought it'd be a little bit quicker. But it's good enough for the top 10 for the time being for Weiberg as it stands. So you can pick up anyone else. Wesker on another lap. SH shortly behind him. Dan Morris 4.6, and he moves up ahead of Wesker then into P4. But Wesker on a flying lap. We'll have a quick look. Some of the other cars on the lap. See if anyone's on. Birch is on 1, but I think Wesker might be further along. No, he's actually behind, so we'll go on board with Bert. P16, always close to his teammate is Bert. Hasn't been a lot to separate them this season. And that's been the case in qualifying as well. 6th gear. Very nice. Puts drift too wide. DRS open. And Bert comes across and sets a 4.9. And you can see how tight it is between his teammate. Look at that, 936, 938, 948, 992, 992, 50030, and look at that, like it's so tight between 9th, even 8th, and 16th, like it really is. Did Wesker find an improvement on that lap? He may have invalidated, to be fair. Pick it up, to be fair. It's a 5.6 invalid, so not quite what Wesker was looking for that lap. Where's SH? SH got to 2nd place with a 4.1, but can't quite place himself on provisional pole. That still belongs to Wesker's teammate Merck. And I believe here it's Timo on a lap. Got Focky in front too. I don't think is he currently on a lap? Is Focky actually? Also, even no point of Focky even. Well, we'll see. If he's got pace here, maybe soften the blow of his 5th-place grid penalty. Nothing that can be done for it now. As Timo runs a bit wide, not the cleanest turn 9, and exceeds on turn 10. Is that going to be? It's a 5 flat, so he does move up to 14th place. Then I think we'll just see actually if his lap actually did count. No, it did, somehow. He was very wide those last two corners, but it did stick. And someone I'm expecting here to be a lot further up. Of course, he had an issue with his connection or whatever the case was. It is Adam in the Red Bull, who I think does have some good pace around here. Let's see what he can get up to on his flying lap. Nice and clean. The second to last corner. Conservative, if anything. And yeah, the final one. Let's see what he can do as he puts himself into 7th place with a 4.8. But I do think there's a lot more Adam can do, as Venom does a 4.2. So they're still chasing that time set by Merck, as a matter on a set of mediums, almost losing the back end there, heading to the through the second to last corner. So building his way slowly up to a soft, it would seem. But a 6.3 invalid, so he's still firmly last of cars that have set times. Adi Baba looks like he's just starting a lap. We know Adam just set one and Venom just set one as well. So we'll go board with the Alfa Romeo as we get close now to the end of this qualifying session. 4.5 minutes to go. All to play for, you'd have to say, especially not only for pole position but even in the top 10. Like, it's so close, so you can see a lot of movement in this part of the field. You could easily see, oh, that's going to be very wide from Adi Baba. Surely that's an invalidation. And getting good practice in for the race, pulling over nice and early, stating the intentions very clearly. And that's how you take the pit lane here in Austria. There'll be a 20-second penalty for those who fail to adhere to that procedure, as they were all shown beforehand. That is how you take the pit lane. Let's go on board with Team T Weiberg. He's currently on a lap. Tom Pretty also on a lap as well. As Sway is out of the session, retired to Sector 3. Anyone on the out lap to see where that was? Certainly not out of the last corner, so maybe anything out of this section here, but Sway won't be playing any further part in this qualifying session. As we go back to Weiberg, who's currently up on his time, but not by much. But as we've kind of talked about, it wouldn't take much to separate yourself from this part of the field. We could have a situation where someone who's got top 6 pace, could easily find themselves outside the top 10 with a free choice of tyre. You never know what could go from there. But anyways, finish the lap is Weiberg as he opens the DRS. It's a 4.965. He can't find an improvement, as Tom Pretty in 13th place, again very close to this battle as well. Ooh, a bit wide on exit. He's run out of ERS as well, and he can't find. He did find an improvement, but it was invalidated. And is that going to be it then for Weiberg and Tom Pretty? They have very little time to get back in and back out again. I suspect they won't. This will be cutting it very close from SH. He might be able to get back out there, but it's going to be touch and go. It is one of the shorter circuits on the calendar, but with less than 2.5 minutes remaining, I suspect that could be it for SH. Meanwhile, Merck on a flying lap, 300s down as he comes out of turns 7 and 8. Can he improve on his provisional pole position? Oh, takes far too much of that curb, and that has scuppered the lap. If he has enough fuel, he can save some ERS this lap and go for one more run. But does he want to on those current tyres? It was all to play for, wasn't it, to find an improvement, but just couldn't get that last turn nailed. To go on board with Bert in the Toro Rosso's teammate is likely going to be out of the top 10. So this is a good chance for Bert to try and get inside the top 10 and get some separation between himself and his teammates. They're close in the standings. Opens to DRS, and it's 9th place for Bert at 4.8. Again, if you can save the ERS, he's got time to do one more lap. So there is some leeway there. Big lock up there from Venom. As a matter on a lap he is, but Venom is further forward. Venom will, you have to say, it's probably his last chance, because with the checkered flag not only a minute off, he won't have enough time to get around the track again and save sufficient ERS. So if he finishes this lap, this will be it for Venom. Can he find an improvement to take him onto provisional pole? God, travelled a little bit on that curve, but what's it going to be? for Venom. It's a 4.182. It is not enough for pole position. That still belongs to Merck. Tom's coming in thick and fast. Burt pulls into the pits, so nothing more to be done for him. Wesker on a lap. Dan Morris just starting his. I'm trying to compete anybody. I think Matter is on a lap, so we're going board with the Renault. In 18th place, last of everyone who has said lap time so far. Open to DRS. And it's 16th place for Matter. It's not going to be good enough for the top 10 today. Where is Wesker? Wesker coming out of the final turn. He's up on his time as well. Can Wesker break into the top 5? He can. It's 4th place for Wesker as things stand. As the checker flag is now out. Timo coming out of the final corner. Shawnee Boy goes up to 6th in his TMC debut. Jono can remanage 7th. Timo slots into P8, P9 there, so he's still inside the top 10. SH currently on a lap. Mark Demand on one as well. So go board with the Sauber. Or the Alfa Romeo, I should say. As he comes out of the final turn. 17th place. And he improves to 11th, so he's still outside the top 10. Dan Morris can't improve. He goes into 8th place. It actually did a 4-5, but it was invalid. SH, I believe, is surely the only man now who can take pole position away. Big distraction with the Renault into the last 2 corners. Is that going to be enough to deter him from pole position? No, it's a 4 flat from SH, and he takes pole position here at Austria. Everyone else, I believe, is finito. So Wesker peels into the pits. Brett, I don't think, is on a lap. And so that will do it. It is SH who will lead them away ahead of Merck and Venom. And so an interesting race in prospect. Everyone on the softs. I don't know if that's indicative of a wet race. We'll find out. I wouldn't assume so automatically, because the words I'm trying to say, the medium tire, the soft you can do onto the medium tire. The one soft to medium is the one you can do. So it doesn't surprise me. It's like Canada in many ways. Kind of you want to kind of start on the fastest tire, if possible. But I suppose it could be rain. You know, we'll explain why some people are a little bit lower down on the field. Maybe a wet setup taken into consideration. We'll find out in a sec. And just to recap, it is SH ahead of Merck in 2nd place, Venom in 3rd place, Wesker 4th in his home Grand Prix, Brett in 5th, Shawnee Boy on his debut in 6th, TMZ Jono in 7th, just a couple thousands ahead of his teammate Dan Morris in 8th, TMZ Zlatan 9th, Timo rounds out the top 10, and he's followed by Mark Demand, Burt, Adibaba, TMZ Weiberg, Sway, Focky, whose 5th place grid penalty to be applied now, Tom Prishy, ILRT Matter, Kieran Trapp, and Combi, who was disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Could have had a chance to have a shootout at pole position, but alas, not to be. It is a firmly dry race, so yeah, not exactly indicative of a wet race. Everyone choosing to go on the softs, that's just the tyre to be on inside the top 10, but it begs the question, what will the rest of the field do outside the top 10? Do they just go for softs? There could be a few that could do mediums. Does anyone even dare to go on to the hards? We shall see. 36 laps, 36 powerful laps. It will go very quickly with a very short lap time here. Interesting to see who can keep it together, because penalties are going to play a big factor today, and that goes against Wesker and Merck, who always struggle with this kind of thing. So you can keep a level head, you can keep it inside the track limits. 36 laps to find all of that out. If you're watching on YouTube, say hello, give a prediction who's going to win this race as we get started on the formation lap. Right, some interesting choices. Ahoy was the word I was looking for. So a couple of guys on mediums outside the top 10. Mark Demand, Adibaba, Kieran Trapp, Combi and Focky all on mediums. Some people going for the aggressive strategy with the softs. Tom Pritchie, Sway, Weiberg, and Bert going for the softs, and I don't think either team matters got the memo about strategy around Austria, because he's gone for the hards. And let's just say an early safety car absolutely ruins his race. To be fair, early safety cars would be disastrous for anyone on mediums. In fact, a safety car in the first 6 laps I think may not actually change a whole lot. Yes, you could go on hards to the end, but you're going to be at a significant disadvantage to those if you carry on to the strategy, which is lap 12 or 14 or so on softs, and then go mediums to the end. So really, this benefit, and every safety car wouldn't benefit anyone really at all. Maybe even matter just to get off those hards, but we'll find out. All to play for, of course, as Merck brings them round behind SH, of course, who's leading the title. Got a good opportunity today with obviously the rest of his opposition a little bit further down the field. It's a short run to turn 1, so you need to get a really good start, a la Valtteri Bottas, to really have a look into turn 1, or a really awful start also at Valtteri Bottas if you want to make up some places here on the run up to turn 1. There'll be plenty of opportunities heading up towards turn 3, and as we saw yesterday, have to squeeze through and be safe. Hopefully we don't see any repeats of the absolute pile-up that took place here yesterday in Division 1. So here we go then, 36 laps. She'll see how it all unfolds. 5 red lights, and away we go. Looks like a good start up at the top. Venom having to put Wesker in his place very early on as Mercedes getting absolutely swamped. That looks like it's Shawnee. And down the rest of the field, it looks like they've all got through okay as they run up then towards turn 1. SH leading them away. See Wesker trying to come back at Venom. You got Jono trying to attack Brett as well as they head up towards turn 3. And nice and clean, I have to say. Toro Rosso going very slowly as Mark Demand and Bert going side by side as they head down towards turn 4. So a nice clean getaway for Division 2. That's what you want to see, as Bert down the inside. Bert trying to hold around the outside rather on Mark Demand. He's going to get that move done on the soft, so that's Bert doing everything he had to do on this opening lap with the tyres he is on. It's a good positive start for the Toro Rosso, but nothing really changed a ton at the top other than Shawnee losing a few positions. I just think you see there, very little change inside the top, no change in fact inside the top 5. A couple of changes here and there, but generally speaking, very clean and productive lap. And now they can get on with their race as Tom Pritchie, Sway's gone very, very wide, maybe in contact as Combi looking to go down the inside of Kieran Trapp in towards turn 1. He's going to get that move done as Weiberg, Adibaba squaring away. It's for P13, so Toro Rosso's made some ground up at the start, and they need to because they're on the aggressive strategy. They're on the softs, whereas the 2 Alfa Romeos are on the medium compound tyres. Oh, poor run for Adibaba initially out of turn 3, but Tom Pritchie may have been on site. It just came steaming in, and now it's put him under pressure to Combi, who's going to be making up a lot of places, you'd imagine, and he's trying to hang around the outside. He's got to account for the Alfa Romeo in front of him. Can he hang around the outside? Tom Pritchie down the inside. He's going to hold on to that position for the time being, but at the front, as we head towards lap 3 then, at the start of the DRS, Venom all over the back of Merck, and Merck's made a mistake, the back end twitching there out of turn 8, and Venom lagging a lot, but he's got the move done on Merck, who will have DRS. It's actually done SH a ton of favours, because now they are out of DRS range behind him as Sway's picked up a 3-second penalty already. Just going to see how that turns out in this race, but DRS now active, and Venom got a decent run out of that turn 1. Can he hold it? Heading up towards turn 3, he goes defensive. Merck with the overspeed. Some terrible camera angles. Venom tried to hold it down the inside. There's a good bit of lag. Jono trying to take on Brett as well, but at the moment Venom is holding on to that position. Any more movement with DRS. This lap is one big DRS train, so not a ton of action early on. Kieran Trapp not quite looking to make a move on Combi, but Venom is through, and now Merck just having to hold off his teammate Wesker behind him. Shawnee also there on the back of Jono as well. And Venom just creeping back within DRS range. If SH can just get a couple hundreds on him, he can escape that DRS zone. I think it's going to be so vital in this race, especially this early phase of the race before the pit stops. It's just one giant train, and Wesker under pressure then from Brett. Weiberg with the 3-second penalty. Brett with DRS going to go down the inside on Wesker, who will have DRS heading back up the hill towards turn 3. It gets a good run as Jono picks up a 3-second penalty. They're coming in thick and fast. Brett covers the line. Oh, contact with Wesker. And somehow Brett's able to hold it. Seems he's latched onto the grass as well. But that instance instigated from Wesker making contact. Somehow Brett manages to hold it and keep it out of the wall as Timo looks like he's going to prop through. Oh, he's been absolutely battered around, is Brett. That won't go down well. And losing the back end into the barrier. Can everyone else keep out of the way? It looks like it. And he's left the session retired. I don't blame him, to be honest, because he was just treated like an absolute pinball at that lap. That's unfortunate. It's not what you want to see, really. But sadly, that's what happens as Wesker then picks up a 3-second penalty. In the unusual place of the track to do it as well, I might add, but it happened. And now a bunch of penalties inside the top 5 already. As speaking of, Venom is closed up very quickly to the back of SH and well within DRS range. And if anything's looking to make an overtake very, very soon as Merck sets the fastest lap of the race. No DRS to defend for SH, but he's got a decent run out of turn 1. Is that enough? A penalty is absolutely flying, and that's someone else got one before Dan Morris there as Sway makes a move on ILRT Matter. That's for P18. And SH holds on to the lead for the time being. It gets a good run out of turn 3 as well, as to prevent any further loss as Bert and Dan, you got Adam and Timo as well side by side. I think Timo's got a poor run out of turn 3. Possibly the same for Bert as well. Dan Morris is now ahead, or even back ahead rather, because of course would have started ahead of Bert. Bert obviously starting outside the top 10 on a fresh set of softs. But at the front, still 3/10 between SH and Venom, and Merck is quite close in contention as well. And Wesker's just dropped out of DRS range. That's going to be a danger for him. He's got a McLaren and a Mercedes within DRS now as well. That's a bit wide from SH heading into the second to last corner. And now Combi is out as well. DRS enabled and active heading down this main street. Not even need to enable overtake mode for Venom as he makes the move. But of course now he's going to be vulnerable heading back up the hill. He goes defensive, and that's all he can do. And all the squabbling just begins to bring Merck into the equation now, much closer now. And SH retakes that position, and he moves back into the lead of this race. Jono can't quite get anything done on Wesker for the time being. Got Kieran Trapp and Focky very close as well as for P14. The two passes side by side him towards turn 3. And Focky doesn't really fight this one a ton. Not sure if he's got wing damage or something, but a very easy move as Tom Brady into the pit onto a set of softs. As they continue around lap 6 of 36 already. Wonder who we'll see first into the pits. A bit early to replace these softs for the time being for set mediums, but won't be too far now before we do see some activity into the pits. Not the best run from SH heading out with the last turn, gone to that sausage curb just a bit, and again he's going to be vulnerable to Venom heading down towards turn 1. They just dropped Merck just a bit there in that last sector, and Venom gets the move done, but once again is going to be vulnerable heading up this hill towards turn 3 as SH pulls over to the left hand side and just able to carry so much more speed with the DRS heading up towards turn 3. They can easily take that place back, but is there any more defense to be had? Again, Venom isn't able to get close enough heading out of that turn 3 as Dan Morris and Timo. Dan Morrison moving up into 8th place then. So Timo looks like he may have been struggling a bit with his turn 3 exits, and he's lost a couple of places as a result so far. First to Adam, now to Dan, and Bert right behind him as well as his teammate, Bert's teammate rather, Weiberg. Just have a look at the gap, like 11 seconds separates the top 14, so it's so tight, which means an undercut, whenever that is triggered, whoever it is, could be at an extreme advantage. If you're someone like Adam, who you're outside of DRS, or it's something you have to think about, because you can make up so many places as Venom darts to the right hand side to take another move into turn 1, and again makes the move on SH, but again SH is going to have the immediate chance to reply. And every single time this overtake has happened, the same thing has happened in the aftermath. SH retakes the lead heading up towards turn 3, but not the best run from out of turn 3, and gets a bit lucky as Venom Ghost has Adam and Dan come together. Timo right there as well, so Adam losing one position, might be another position now in a second. And the Bogan of DRS on Dan. Oh, Adam trying to squeeze in, was he? Dan was savvy to it. Timo still fighting, and I think that's going to be Timo into 8th place unless Adam can launch him down into turn 6. It's going to be a disadvantage because he's going to be on the outside, but does get the move done. Timo running a bit too wide, and Adam back then into P8, so he did well to recover that one. As at the front, meanwhile, you can see the same thing happening over and over again, where I think if Venom just holds back, and Shawnee then picks up a 3-second penalty, if Venom just holds back and just gets a focus on a good run out of turn 1, then maybe he can use the DRS to his advantage heading up the hill towards turn 3, rather than give SH their chance every single time to come back at him. And again, it's the same thing we've seen lap after lap after lap. SH then with the DRS heading up towards turn 3 retakes the lead, and Merck still right there as well, as Bert then close to Timo. Timo goes very wide at turn 3. It's going to allow Bert a chance as second penalty. Bert going to nip through. Can Timo reply? Bert has got DRS as well as Timo. Isn't going to be the case. And that is Timo then. Oh, he's going for the move on the inside as Venom into turn 6. A very clean move in the end, and he's got it done. So now, for the first time in forever, the role's going to be reversed this time. It's going to be Venom who's going to be trying to defend heading out of turn 1, or into turn 1 rather, and he's pulling over into the pit. So Venom then, a very early pit stop indeed. Merck follows him. Anyone else in the equation? Doesn't look like it. So Merck and SH then, the first to blink at the front, and I wonder now, they're going to emerge into traffic. We'll see. Hard compound tires for SH. Wow, he's bitten very early on that one. Merck, hard compound tires for him as well by the looks of it, as Team T's Latan gets a penalty, and Wesker then under pressure from Jono. Jono into turn 3. Jono gets that move done, but Wesker going to have DRS instantly to reply back. We'll have a look back at SH and Merck in a second, but they're in relatively speaking clear air, at least for this lap alone, as Wesker going to go down the inside to try and take the position back from Jono, using as much of the track as possible, and Wesker retakes that position. So I wonder if maybe Venom might be better off staying out, because SH and Merck are going to be in traffic quite soon. We'll see what happens. Looks like Venom's going to stay out. If he isn't, he's taking the incorrect pit entry. That's a little dodgy, I'm not going to lie. But we'll see what the stewards think about it afterwards. But Venom does respond to the undercut. Can he slow down in time? He does indeed. So now all eyes then on, where are they? SH and Merck. They're in 16th and 17th place at the moment. They are in relative clean air, but have they missed a trick with the strategy? Because Venom is going onto the medium compound tyre. Where are they? Coming down the main straight now. Venom just about to feed. There is SH. So SH is going to get... Oh, Merck's right there as well. And Merck won't have DRS, but he doesn't have the overspeed heading out of the corner. Venom needs to get this done quickly. If he can reply instantly on Merck, it would be a big, big one. He's on medium compound tyres now, so he's got to get a move on. But the undercut then worked, in theory, with for Merck and SH, but they are on the worst compound tyre, as Focky gets by his teammate Kieran Trapp into 11th. But we'll see any change at the front here. Looks like they're going to stay out for another lap at least. Dan Mars, same thing. Shawnee, the same thing. So they're going to stay out for another lap at least. As where is Venom? There he is on the medium tyre now, the significantly better tyre. And now, without DRS then in front, this should be a bit of an easier job for Merck to, for Venom to try and pick off. And he just heading up towards turn 3. Any sign of movement? Doesn't look like it. Jono, is he getting close? He is. but not close enough. We'll go back with Venom. Not quite close enough to make a move on Merc, but gets a much better run out of turn 1, and the traction with a softer compound tyre. Softer in terms of its compound compared to the hard, obviously, as Jono then with DRS gets by Wesker, and that's heading down towards turn 4. And Wesker, can he respond? Jono will do well to come across and cut that off, and he has. And so Jono then moves into the lead of this race for the time being, as SH gets by Matter, and that's for P13. And Venom stayed clear of Merc, and now can set off to try and create an advantage, and then to pick off SH then in front of him. No sign of activity yet amongst the top 5 anyway, so they stuck to their guns, they stayed out longer, and they will have a tyre advantage come the end of this race, especially because everyone's in the same kind of boat here. They're all in the same race pretty much, which is an effective, if not a podium battle, certainly, sorry, if not a race for the win, certainly for the podium. And so they're going to have tyre advantages over SH, Merc and Venom. It's going to happen, as Jono can't get a great smooth run out of turn 3, but does well to cover where Wesker wants to go. And Wesker have to go around the long way around turn 4, which isn't the easiest thing to do. And Jono pulls ahead, keeps the lead of this race. The only thing that these guys aren't doing themselves any favours is they are squabbling, and that's not going to be great news for them, as Venom has got by Matter and now is setting his sights on SH. We'll stick with this battle. Jono pulls over to the right hand side, he's going to pit this lap. Wesker, same thing. Shawnee will go on, Dan will go on, and Adam will carry on as well. So lap 12 then, heading on to lap 13. Leaders are in. Bert, Timo, they're in as well. They all get themselves slowed down in time. Line astern. So we'll see then. Medium compounds for Jono. They should all be going on mediums, to be honest. And that looks like the story. Though I do see Bert on hards. That's not the right choice, I think, as Venom then looking to make the move on SH. This is for the effective lead of the race, we think. And there's a ghost in between there, and Venom's still on the left hand side. It was hard to see for a sec. Dan and Shawnee Boy are squabbling. We're going to stick with this because this is the effective race lead happening right here. Can Venom on the outside, comes across a bit with the better tyres, but SH has a better line, and so Venom needs to stick this. He is getting very lucky with the ghosting, but the contact, and that puts SH at disadvantage, and Venom slips through on his mediums into the effective race lead. As into the pits then, Shawnee, Dan, Timsy Zlatan, Weiberg with a questionable entry there, not too sure about that one, as Mark Demand, the guys in the mediums then can carry on and inherit the race lead, and they're not that far behind were they on those tyres, on those mediums, so they could be a really interesting one to watch come the second half of this race. This race is wide open, certainly at least in terms of the podium possibly. It's going to be difficult to see how this kind of all swings around, but as Venom looking to get by Kieran Trapp, and that's for P4. Of course now Venom of course has pitted, everyone else in front of him has not. Where's Dan and going to come out in retrospect then to all these guys then? So they are behind. Yeah, so they have all lost ground, as Team T Zlatan making the move on Shawnee around the outside. And can he get that moved in? He can, but Shawnee will have the DRS. And in front of him there's a little battle between Timo and Wesker. Timo on the outside, Wesker on the inside. Wesker trying to hold it. Comes across Timo's line just a little bit, and aggressively defending that one. Wesker holding on to that position for the time being. Adam keeping his position against Shawnee, and now can set off after Dan in front. So lots of battles, nice close action in this Austrian Grand Prix. Lap 16 of 36, not even halfway yet. There's a lot to be decided yet in this Grand Prix, as Timo again with DRS, but not close enough to make a move on Wesker this time around. And Wesker with another time penalty, so that won't do his chances any favours whatsoever, And once again, when push comes to shove, once again Wesker just can't deliver in races. Constant penalties. His teammate, to be fair, is doing a good job in that retrospect, I believe. I don't think Merck has got any penalties for the time being. But Wesker, once again, any chance of a good result goes out the window because, yeah, too much of a bottle, I'm afraid. But he holds on to P10 for the time being, still close at the front. Of course, he's now Alfa Romeo 1-2 at the moment. They've yet to pit. Venom getting closer now to the back of this top three. Of course, Venom has pitted and will probably be going to the end of the race. Any sign of an overtake back here? It is one giant DRS train basically from Wesker onwards. And so Jono here is in the middle of the look. He's a nice little bit of ground here, I should say, where he's behind one car but safely in front of the rest as this battle carries on behind him. And Timo again going for the move, heading up towards turn 3 this time, down the inside on Wesker. Has to be careful because Dan Morris right there, so we'll go forward with the McLaren. And we'll switch to the Williams as Wesker's got a decent run heading out of turn 3. Pulls back over to the left hand side, have to go along the long way on the outside, comes across somewhat on Timo and gets the move done again, but not the best bit of racing there, you have to say, as Venom looking to get a move done on Fock. He has to be careful, he doesn't need to do anything because the DRS straight is just coming up, but does get the move done, but does run wide in the process, and I'm sure that'll be a warning for Venom, and can't afford to be getting too many of those. They will play a very key factor in today's race. I guess very quickly, just check Merck's situation. So 2 warnings, he's 1 away from a penalty as Timo getting very close again. Oh, Dan's gone for the move. Oh, and Dan left his car in there, and that's a tough one. It compromises the run of Adam. Not sure if Adam's got wing damage, but Bert heading back at them now. Okay, get the move done on Adam and Dan. I have to say that wasn't the best one from Dan, I must be honest. Didn't think the move was on there, maybe just outbroke himself as Adi Baba has put up a stern defence of that position. A contact between himself and Venom. But Venom does get by then himself after his teammate then as Merck and Matter coming together. Merck has got by, but Matter not giving this one up yet. Trying to fight back, and that should bring John. Oh, and Merck is round! And there goes Jono and everyone else. Oh, Merck's got to be so careful. And Adam is out of this race as well, so no idea what happened, but it's all come kicking on lap 19. Merck, I'm not sure if there is contact. I'm not sure. It didn't look like there was. He may have just spun his rears, but Merck then is going to carry on. Just not what he needed, and now he's well down the order, now in P15 and firmly out of contention for a podium, you would have to say, as Matter and Kieran Trapp. A safety car has been deployed. Well. A safety car is out, and Venom is in an interesting spot here. So what's going to happen then at the safety car? A set of softs I don't think will go to the end as Tom Bridger gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Will the set of softs get to the end of this race? Yes, I think so. Because by the time you take into account the time the safety car comes out, does a few laps, and then comes back in, you're looking at around 14-15 laps, and that should do it. So who's going to do what then? Is Venom going to carry on? He's coming into the pits, but again, that's not the greatest entry in the world. Mark Deman, they're all going to. They should all, honestly, they should. If they all come into the pits, it's going to be a really interesting dynamic. Is anyone going to carry on? Yes, someone's carried on. I think that's so Wesker is carrying on. Oh, Wesker. Dan Mars is going to carry on as well. So, oh, there's in contact, and Bert almost reversing into the pits then. So split strategies then. There are some split strategies going on. Got people on. Well, let's just wait till it all comes out, honestly, because that's just there's no point. It's futile to try and keep up. So Wesker's gone for glory by not pitting here. Dan is also chosen not to pit. Maybe because his teammate was into the pits and didn't want to lose so much position double stacking. We'll see. So Anyways, where does this all work out? So, oh, Brett's been disqualified for ignoring yellow flag. Um, so Venom then came into the pits for fresh mediums. Mark Demand, fresh softs. Focky, fresh soft. Alibaba, fresh softs. SH and Matter, fresh mediums. Kieran Trap, Timo, Jono, fresh softs. Fresh mediums for Merc, Bert, and then Sway on fresh softs as well. I think the softs are the way to go. I think everyone who's gone to softs has absolutely made the right call. I think those who've gone mediums have missed a trick, but they have to make through a lot of traffic. All of a sudden, Mark the Man is in a really good place. So this really benefited the guys who hadn't come into the pits yet. And so for once, the alternate strategy has paid off. The safety car coming out before the guys on mediums and hards made their stops. I know 5 and 6 laps isn't a ton of difference on the tyres, but I think with guys on softs, I'm not sure if that'll work out. We'll see how it works out. Wesker automatically screws Wesker big time. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. There are other penalties at play here as well. Weiberg was another one to stay there, as well as Shawnee. So Bert, we know, is he's got wing damage again, has he, on the left hand side? No, so he's repaired the wing, obviously having damage coming into the pits. Tom Pritchard's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, so that's that. Anything else? Yeah, so that's worked out very well for the guys who hadn't pitted yet on the mediums. So Wesker leads the round. This does hand Merck somewhat of a reprieve, but he's got a lot of traffic because now everyone in front of him is going to the end of the race and he's in P14. So, you know, it's going to be tough. But we'll see then how things are going to set themselves when the safety car decides to come in. Be it this lap or the next lap, we shall see. It is so refreshing to see the safety car come out and have it actually matter. It really is. This is good. This is good. That's what I want to see. There's excellent race heading up to this point as well. We'll see what it does with the rest of the race. If it ruins it, we'll find out. But certainly a lot to play for then. It looks like the safety car is going to do another lap then. So by the time we get to lap 22 then will be the minimum when the safety car comes in. Then you go racing lap 23 and that does fall into your soft compound range. So yeah, I think everyone's gone the softs was made the right call, but we'll see how it all unfolds. Excuse me, it's actually a good time to check. Just check where this thing. Actually, I don't want to find out because it's going to be. It'll make for more fun crossing the line. I know Wesker's got 2 penalties. I know Dan Mars has got 2 penalties. Outside of that, it's kind of hard to keep up. So we'll see. Just look at the position change. I mean, there you go. That's how it's worked out after the safety car. In theory, yes. Like the guys, like Wesker, Dan, Shawnee, Weiberg, their tires will go to the end. It's just they're going to be at a disadvantage to the guys behind. That's all. Plus, these softs are going to be up to temperature pretty quickly compared to the mediums. Not that the mediums are slow to get up to temperature, but just the softs will be quicker to get working compared to the mediums. But we'll see then. I'm assuming the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. We'll find out in a sec if that is the case. If not, then the longer the safety car stays there, the longer this plays into the soft compound's hands. And it is in this lap, so here we go then. Wesker then is the effective pace car. He dictates the pace, and on his count, do we go racing at SH? Actually, boy, I have to be careful not to make an overtake on their safety cars. Tom Pritchard had a collision with Sway, and is missing half of his front wing, so goes from bad to worse for Tom. But Wesker then looking to get back underway, and he's going to go for it. And he's got a good jump on Dan Morris. Dan Morris caught napping there somewhat. And Wesker's got a good run to start, but now we're going to have to monitor the progress of Venom, Mark Demand, all these people, as we are now racing once again. I don't believe DRS will be enabled, at least for the first 3 laps. So Wesker's got that much time to try and escape as Focky picks up a 3-second penalty then. And Venom already looking to get jump on Weiberg. No DRS, of course, it's all down a straight line speed, and ERS down the inside goes Venom on Weiberg, and he gets the move done. So Venom already in front, getting one jump already. Adibaba trying to fight with Focky. Nothing doing, heading down towards turn 4. Kieran Trapp looking to make a move on Matter on the outside. Can't quite get it done, but has much better traction on the soft compound tires. Does he have the line? Matter will have the inside. And he slots in behind, does the Haas. And these are big, big laps for Wesker. He's leading his home race. How is his nerve? Can he compose himself and try and go for the win? He got a good restart there, to be fair. But now has to try and escape, because he's going to be the only one at this race who's not going to have DRS. Once it's enabled in a few laps time, Merck then picks up his penalty. As Weiberg under pressure from Mark Demand. As Venom picks up a penalty now in the process also. Penalties now begin to fly in as Venom. Another one to add to the list. Like Sector 1, not sure what that's for. I think it's Merck actually. Have a quick scan down. Merck is into the barrier at turn 3. So once again Merck, again when it comes to the race, just hasn't been able to compose himself and see it through on a strong qualifying performance. As nothing doing much at the front here. Weiberg's able to defend this time around from Mark Demand. But for how much longer can he? Because now Weiberg is out of DRS range as the Venom trying to attack Shawnee. That's for P3. As they begin, or set to begin lap 25, and I believe this is when the DRS will be enabled once again. The third lap of racing after the restart. Yeah, there it is. DRS is enabled now, and can Dan make an attempt to take the lead on Wesker? Doesn't get the best run. Shawnee that picks up a penalty now as well. Is going to be under pressure then from Venom. Is Wesker going to be under pressure from Dan? He is picking up the toe. And the DRS then, Wesker comes across to defend as best as he can. Venom gets the move done on Shawnee, and Wesker this time has a DRS then on Dan, and a bit of a tough one there. There's an Alfa Romeo around. It's Alibaba. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he is now out of contention then of this one, as Mark Man looking to try and shape one up on Weiberg as Merck retires then from the race. So it's unfortunate for Merck. All-Star with his collision, or just incident even, at this section of the track. Not sure if he made contact with Matter or not, but race went downhill quickly after that. But now Venom is on the back of this battle now, so he's got bare tyres, and even if he doesn't have the biggest advantage now, he will have an advantage come the end of this race. And Dan getting very close to Wesker by the end of turn 1. What's his run out of turn 1 like this time? It is good. He has the DRS now to boot. He has to try and make this done, get this done as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he'll be under pressure from Venom behind, and Wesker nips to the right, again forcing Dan to go a long way round. Venom now here as well, and that's a decent run out of turn 3 this time for Dan, and he's going to have a better chance this time to get the move done on Wesker, who's sticking tight to the right hand side. Beautiful helicopter shot this time. Dan goes round the outside. Wesker can't defend this one, and Dan moves into the lead of this race, and now Venom right on the back of Wesker. A little bit of contact was there down the inside. Wesker holding on. This is helping Dan out a treat. There's contact, big contact. Wesker's been hit, and Venom nips through into P2 then. Wesker then will be under pressure from the cars behind, who are now, with the exception of, well, the longer Shawnee and Weiberg are behind him, the better, because after that it's all cars who have fresher tyres, who of course pitted under the safety car. Let me just check the wing damage there. It doesn't look like it. Certainly on Venom's car, not sure about Wesker. Shawnee tries to pick up the toe. Focky into the slipstream of SH as well. Of course, Focky on the soft compound tires and overtakes. Focky's going to go for it. It's a late one on SH. And SH, I think, was savvy to it. Saw it coming. And thankfully no contact was made on this occasion. Shawnee getting close then to Wesker. If Wesker falls out of DRS range, he is in serious trouble, because how many cars are waiting behind him to try and make a move after that? A lot is the answer. as Tom Pretty sets the fastest lap of the race, but he's down in 17th. As Mark de Man close to Weiberg. He needs to try and get this done as quickly as he can as Mark, because he's losing some of the advantage he's going to have on these softs. As a 3-second penalty for Kieran Trapp. Again, with everyone being in a DRS train, it's kind of tough to. You have to get a good run at one of the corners. Oh, Mark de Man almost getting out of shape, but managed to slow him down quite nicely in the end. But he's under pressure then from SH behind. It's the wrong one. Goes defensive. SH has to go around the outside. Oh, Dan and Venom. Venom was off the track at least there for a second. Must have been a very late one from Venom as Shawnee picks up a 3-second penalty. As SH then looking to try and get this moved on the Mark demand. Weiberg on Shawnee Boy as well. And that little squabble has helped just close Wesker up just up a little bit. Very tight action. Just a, well, I wouldn't say just a couple of laps, but 9 laps remain, including the one we're on. And it's anybody's guess for this race one, really. Really is anyone's guess. I think Shawnee Boy's been compromised here somewhat. Has he got wing damage or is he just struggling on his tyres? Wing looks fine, but he has dropped out of that DRS range now, and that leaves him vulnerable to the cars behind. Actually needs to check if Venom upshifting. He's got a lot of ERS left compared to Dan, who's not got a lot left. Oh, Dan goes defensive. Weiberg get moved on Shawnee. That's for P4. Heading back up. Dan is off the track, and Venom then moves ahead. And Wesker's right there as well, looking to try and take advantage. Weiberg then is through, and Wesker then steaming through. Can he get the move done on Dan? He can, as Kieran Trapp is out of this race. Side by side, Dan and Wesker. Who's going to back down? And eventually it is Wesker who gets a better run on exit, but will still be behind Dan. This squabbling is going to allow Weiberg to try and catch up. And they're still safe because the cars behind, who pitched at the safety car, haven't got a chance really to try and make their way through. But as long as they're within DRS, there's always a chance. As SH is... Unfortunately, SH has made the wrong tyre call, and I think if he had soft, he'd be well through this field now at this stage, certainly to the top 3. As Venom then looking to drop everyone else. Good run for SH out of turn 1. Mark Dwan's going to have DRS to defend with, though. Is that going to be enough? As they charge up the hill, Mark Dwan on the inside, SH on the outside. Has to go around, and with the DRS then on exit, he should be through, and indeed he is. SH then up to 6th place as Weiberg and Shawnee try and self after Wesker, but being on similarly old tyres, it's kind of tough to make headway. Brett has actually managed to get back. He's got back into his car, so he came back, got back in, and still in P13 here, so he's got a chance for some points if things break his way. And SH, now that SH has been released, I think he's going to be one to watch then this remaining 6 laps as Venom comes across to begin lap 31. Dan Marr still not quite clear of Wesker's DRS, but Weiberg is creeping a little bit closer, and towards that is Shawnee and SH as well, who's off the track. Oh, it's Brett, isn't it? And just as I was talking about him, he's out of the points contention. Then you would imagine SH then pick up the slipstream on Shawnee. I guess go around the outside this time. Later on the break, Shawnee comes across the line a bit, makes contact with SH, who I won't be too thrilled with that, and that's going to allow Mark to try and come back at the Ferrari. It looks like he's going to, as well as Wesker got very close to Dan on that occasion. SH trying to fight this. It's important for SH, and he can't quite get it done. And Wesker still all over the back of that McLaren, as now Venom pulls 2 seconds clear. Bit of a thrilling race, and it's going to be a few more twists before this one is all said and done, I'm sure. Maybe possibly beginning with P2 and P3 here. Wesker not quite close enough. Shawnee close to the back of Weiberg, but again can't quite get close enough to Wesker, as SH in this time down the inside into turn 1. Nice clean racing through turn 1 there between the two cars. Not the easiest thing to do in the world, but SH does have DRS, and that's going to allow him to just keep the straight line speed consistent with that of Mark Demand, and that's why he's able to keep that position in the end. Wesker a little bit too far back this time round, and SH then going to go for round 2 on Shawnee. I do think if SH can get clear of Shawnee and get after Weiberg, I think he can definitely come towards Wesker. We'll see what happens in these remaining 5 laps. At the front, you'd have to say, is looking comfortable for Venom, who, of course, as you know, did pit. Ooh, there's a big little scrap going on, actually. Matter, Focky, Timo, all there, as Wesker picks up another 3-second penalty. His podium was gone before, it certainly is now. As SH close to Shawnee, not quite. This battle's a bit closer. As Brett then out of this race. Matter, it's just ahead of this battle between Jono and Focky. And Bert then in that as well, as SH then looking to get the run up on Shawnee again this time. Big bit of lag down the inside. Goes to Ferrari this time on Mercedes. And looks like he's going to get this move done this time around. And that is SH then into P5. He gets off after Weiberg, who's just out of DRS range still of Wesker. It's all still quite close. As they begin the final few laps. Yellow flag in sector 1. I imagine maybe that was for Sway. I'm not too sure actually. Maybe Focky, to be fair. No, actually no. It's just this game can't make up his mind about who wants to be flagged or not. But SH and already on the back of Weiberg, 4/10. Of course, Weiberg has no DRS to fend with now. His tyres 5 laps older, which he will be feeling at this stage of the race, you'd imagine. Very wide there for SH. That'll surely be a warning, as Wesker now is out of the DRS range of Dan, and for the first time has no DRS heading up this hill, as Mark Demand picks up a 3-second time penalty. SH then can't get the move done because Weiberg actually picked up DRS on Wesker. Oh, very wide into that corner was Weiberg, and that's going to allow SH an easy move then into P4. He can continue to set off after Wesker, then less than a second in front of him, who was just dropped out of DRS range himself. Weiberg still there, but can't quite keep that one going. And SH then a couple of laps, then 3 laps remaining, including the one they're on. 2.5 laps, strictly speaking, for SH then to try and get a move. Wesker's got a lot of ERS, to be fair, but with the tyre difference. Oh, Wesker's onto the gravel a bit there on the grass. You can see the rear kicking up there. As Matter was nowhere in this race for such a long time. Now he looks like he's in a really good spot. I'm not sure what his penalty situation is like, but he could be looking at a very good result here if he carries on like this. And there is SH then, half a second back of Wesker. He's going to have a good run heading up this hill towards turn 3. You see Bert and Jono change of places. Jono made a mistake there, I believe. Wesker pulling over the left hand side. SH goes down the inside. This is for a podium spot, at least on track. Wesker's not going to give up this without a fight. Of course, he's not going to keep this position anyways because of the amount of the penalties he's got, but for pride. But look at the overspeed. SH will go down the inside. A little bit of contact. Oh, let's just call him off guard. And Weiberg not quite close enough to make a move there, but truth be told, I don't think SH actually needs to get this move done, given that he is, of course, Wesker's got 9 seconds of penalties to contend with. As I believe then Venom is going to begin the final lap of this race. It's been a really interesting race, and it's not over yet. Still plenty of positions to be decided, because you can see with there's John with the penalty, 10 seconds doesn't even cut the top 10. So shows you how close this is. But SH will get one more chance, you'd imagine, on Wesker. As they pull over to the right hand side and back out again. SH will have to go the long way round. Can he get the move done? Wesker's behind, makes contact this time. And no DRS for SH, so Wesker's going to have to try and pull this one back on his own. Straight line speed, ERS and DRS active, but I don't think he's going to be far enough forward. is Wesker. I'll go back because Matter looks like he's going to try and get a move done on Mark Demand. Switch back, can't quite get it done, but it looks like SH has got the move done. And further up the field, we're going to see Venom then, who did pit after that safety car. He's going to look like he's going to get this move done, but look at it, like it's going to be absolute chaos. So fasten your seatbelts. His end result is going to be, it's going to get weird. Venom rounds the final corner. He is going to win this Austrian Grand Prix ahead of Dan Morris in second place. SH is going to come across line to finish third, jump Dan Morris into second. Wesker then is going to fall down the field to 7th place. The rest of the top 10 then filing through. And so, in the end, Venom wins ahead of SH. Dan Morris in third. Mark Demand jumps up to 4th in the end. Weiberg then to 5th. Timo into 6th. Then Wesker fell down to 7th. Burt in 8th. Shawnee in 9th. Focky in 10th. John 11th. Matter in 12th. I thought Matter was a lot closer to the action there, and I thought he had a lot more penalties than I suspected. Alibaba's going to finish 13th. Swain 14th. And Tom Pretty will round out the grid in 15th place. Just to clarify, because I'm reading the YouTube chat, I was saying, Brett, that you got bounced around there, not the other way round. I thought you got very hard done by Wesker, and then obviously a few guys then they were coming through after that. So that's just to clarify that, because I know it was mentioned in the YouTube comments, but I just wanted to clarify that I thought you got fairly hard done by there, being bounced around like a ping pong ball. Anyways, Venom then takes the top step ahead of his two rivals, I guess, in the title between Dan and SH. But he did well, to be fair to Venom, because he did have to make overtakes after the safety car restart and got them done, even on the mediums. I still don't think it was the right decision, but there you go. He got it done regardless, ahead of SH and Dan, who lost out there by a 10th on 2nd place. To be fair to Dan, if he had pitched, he would finish further behind. Staying out actually did benefit him. It did not benefit Wesker, that's for sure. So there you go. Dan then. Did anyone get a penalty? No one got finished the race without a penalty, it seems. Venom then finishing ahead of SH in 2nd. Dan in 3rd. Mark Demand 4th. Weiberg 5th. Timo in 6th. Wesker then with 9 seconds of penalties in 7th. Burt in 8th. Shawnee Boy 9th, Focky in 10th, Jono 11th, Matter 12th. He had 9 seconds in the end, not bad. Alibaba 13th, Sway 14th, Tom Pritchard then rounding out the runners in 15th. We lost from this race Brett, Kieran Trapp, Merck, TMT Zlatan, and Combi. I don't even remember Combi retiring, to be honest. So, action-packed race. I hope you enjoyed it. Next up for TMC is same track, Division 3 on Friday, but in terms of for Division 2, next circuit is Silverstone, and well, if that can give as good of a race as this one got, I'll be impressed. So anyways, thanks very much for watching, and until next time.